Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gaming Pubcast episode number 34, which is my age. So the Gaming Pubcast is now not the same age as me, but the same number. But what it's not as old as is my two co-hosts, Tom and Duncan. I don't know about Tom.
Thanks for reminding me. Even reversed, it's not as old as us two. So
harsh.
Yeah.
Well, never quite a few more episodes till we get to that point, isn't it?
But he's back. He's back.
I am.
So you two can't tell, but on the screen, on the YouTube screen, he's below me. So he's back. Tom, welcome back.
Hi everyone.
Still not 100%.
No. But we'll get there. And but I'm back.
Back for the Mario special, Tom. Which we're glad you're back for because we know obviously you are
retro. He's the retro king, isn't he?
Retro king. Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
March the 10th as well, as Duncan said last week, which is Mario Day. So
and that was originally question 3 on my quiz. So I've changed that now. So you're not getting a free point.
I only found out it was Mario Day about an hour ago. That's how out of touch I am.
So it's March 10th. So Mar 10 Mario, and so happy Mario Day! Woohoo! I don't know.
Did any of you do anything to celebrate it? Mario Day.
I can't.
It's also Mother's Day over here in the UK. So no.
I went out for a meal, which I'll say was for Mario Day, but
Yeah. I bought some flowers for Mario.
your partner. Happy Mario Day.
My wife is getting a massage at the local spa. So
right now,
and so I could give that to Mario.
Yeah, my missus is a Sonic fan, so
throwing flowers in your face, Tom. Mario Day.
Yeah.
So Mario, it looks like Mario's getting lots of gifts, isn't he? But so I think we'll get onto info and everything. But I have got a little quiz which I've had ready for about 2 weeks. But of course, Tom just really selfishly was ill.
I know. It's crazy.
No, right. So these are facts. These are facts that if you know them, the questions will be really easy, obviously. So, question 1: which Mario game was not released in the US originally, as it was felt it was too hard for the Americans? I don't know whether it's released in the EU. I think it was released in the EU. And it has since been released in the US under a different name. This was an early on game.
Super Mario. Oh,
yeah, you're getting that. You're getting close. Super Mario.
Was it Lost Levels?
It is the Lost Levels,
Super
which
Mario
was originally called Super Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah.
In Japan, they basically remixed the first one. I think it was they made it so hard that they decided not to release it.
Originally released on the Famicom, if I remember rightly, in Japan.
So they didn't get it, but Super Mario Brothers 2 in the US was eventually released in Japan as well, but that was under a different name as well. This question 2: what was Super Mario Brothers 2 for the US named in Japan? I didn't know this one. So it was Super Mario Brothers, and it was in Japan, but it was from the USA. What could it have been called? That's a big hint.
Super Mario Bros. USA.
Hey! There we go.
It must be the antibiotics. I'm winning.
Right. Here's a funny one. This isn't a joke, but it is the answer is funny. What is Mario's surname?
No idea.
I will give you another big hint. The answer is in the question.
What is Mario's surname?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Can I phone a friend?
No. Oh. Think of the most ridiculous word that would be his Mario surname in that
Mario.
question. Mario. There we go. His surname is Mario. His
Mario.
name is Mario.
Oh, I was going to ask Google.
Yep. So Luigi is Luigi Mario. Mario is Mario. Apparently, that was a new one on me as well. So yeah, number 4. What job did Mario have when he was in the original Donkey Kong? What was?
Oh, I know that one.
Oh, there we go.
Carpenter, wasn't he? Was...
Fantastic. Ding, ding, ding. Point to Martin. There you go. I didn't know that one as well. Well, not as well. Number 5 then. Last one. What is the surname of the hacker who was convicted of fraud to do with Nintendo and also the current Nintendo president of America?
Current.
Same surname. Now, there's a reason why this is actually doesn't sound like it's a Mario question. It is to do with Mario. That's a sort of hint. Yeah.
No
Do
idea.
you know the current Nintendo president of Nintendo America?
I don't, but he's got his surname something to do with Mario, is it?
It is indeed. Think of enemies.
Is it Morimoto or one of that?
Nope. The
Goomba?
president.
Is it Goomba? Oh,
No, think of the
Bowser.
enemy. Bowser. Yes, there was a hacker who is still to this day, I think for the rest of his life, will be paying back. His name was Gary Bowser. And pretty much at the same time he was being tried, then Doug Bowser was appointed Nintendo of America president. So, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I believe it's called nominative determinism. So your name dictates your job. And if you're going to be called Bowser... it's a pretty good job to get, but then again, pretty bad to be a hacker, really, if you're being caught.
It's okay if you're not caught, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you go down the list of names on, like, you got some IP addresses or something. Hang on, we've got some IP addresses that appeared very briefly. We'll go down the list of names of these. Oh, there's somebody called Bowser. Let's go. They hacked Nintendo. Anyway, so there you go. A few basic but interesting facts of Mario. So Tom.
Yes.
Have you been playing lots of over the years? Have you played lots of Mario?
Yeah, I mean, one of my best memories was best 2 memories actually. Was when the Super Nintendo was first announced in the UK. Comet, which is an electrical superstore in the UK, or was, had the kiosks, and I used to live in Cheshire at the time, near Crewe, and I used to cycle from the village I lived in Haslington, all the way to Crewe to play the Super Nintendo, and I completed Super Mario World in Comet. And I used to have people standing around me watching me play, and you could select multiple games. So you could play F-Zero, I think it was Pilot Wings, and Super Mario. And
this was the full Super Mario?
Yeah, they had the full game playing. And I managed to complete all 99 levels, get all the keys.
How long were you stood in this shop for?
Well, the manager thought it was so.
They allow you to save it.
He allowed me to save it, and that save game was never touched at all. It was always on the same level I got back on. But I don't know if they used to just turn the machine off or something after I left. But you see a crowd of people watching, and yeah, I used to love that. And my second memory is getting Super Mario Land on the Game Boy, which is one of my most favourite.
That's definitely my one as well.
Christmas '89, I think it was, if I remember rightly. And I got the Game Boy, Super Mario Land. I used to love the box art as well.
Absolutely. It was basically a picture of a level, wasn't it? But in colour and
yeah. And it's just because it was also such a unique game as well. It wasn't made by the usual Mario team, and obviously you're basically programming to Spectrum level coding. And they did fantastic. I never liked the sequel.
Oh no, the sequel just didn't work properly, did it? They tried to make it look like a SNES game,
Yeah,
and it's like no, just embrace the stick mechanics that the original one had.
yeah,
It was almost like a stick character. It was that small.
yeah.
Although I have replayed it recently and I found it incredibly easy. Yeah, I remember it taking me weeks to complete it the first time.
And there was always that little hack. When you got to the Egyptian level, you could jump up. And I don't know if it was just a mistake they made in the game or whether it was deliberate. You could jump up and you could then just run across the top and avoid all the little nooks and crannies and enemies and just win the level. And you could do that. So the challenge was, after you completed the game, this was on Super Mario Land, was then to complete it with no lives lost, maximum lives, so 99 lives, maximum power up, and in Big Mario, and not get damaged, not get killed at all. That was the challenge. I did it once. So
no, I was not very good at it back in the late 80s. I want to say Super Mario Land came out.
89, yeah.
89, yeah. So I bought it myself because my parents were quite anti-gaming. Christmas money and all that kind of thing. And I remember going away on holiday for a week to a cottage in Wales, and I sat and played it and probably got told off quite a lot for just sitting there. But yeah, it was just such a good game. And back in those days, I mean, you say about the Egyptian bit, you didn't know about these things unless you either A, found them out by accident, or B, had a magazine, which I didn't buy.
Yeah.
Nintendo magazine or anything like that, because I had a Spectrum still. And was still playing my Spectrum. But Mario, it was other than Tetris, which came with it, it was the only game I had. So I just played it again and again and again, and such good memories. And it's probably number 2 in my favourite of Mario's games.
Yeah.
But what would you both say is why is Mario so popular? Is it because of the character, or is it just because Nintendo look after the games that it makes?
I think the games are always good, aren't they? I mean, for me, my first memory, because I didn't have NES or SNES, I was Sega Mega Drive, and then the first sort of Nintendo console I got was Nintendo 64. So my first exposure was Super Mario 64, but then if you think of every console they've had, there's always a really good Mario game on there. And they had, Super Mario 64, and then you had Super Mario Sunshine, and you had the Galaxies on the Wii, and now the Odyssey, and the Wii U had the Super Mario 3D, whatever it was called.
The Super Mario Wonder now on the Switch.
And Super Mario Wonder, yeah, and obviously, yeah, there's just, I don't know, yeah.
There's so many good ones.
There are so many good ones.
I think we will get onto the bad ones, I think, in a bit. Because they're sort of Nintendo-y ones, but yeah.
They reinvented it. I mean, I remember going on Galaxy for the first time, and that was like an experience I'd never really sort of had with like 3D worlds, and at the time on a Wii, which I don't think is the most powerful console, but they get the most out of the hardware that they're on, which is to see they do look after it. Nintendo are good at looking after their franchises, aren't they? They rarely bring out bad games. I know there are ones.
I'm going to say something controversial here. Mario 64, I don't get it. Why it's everybody or a lot of people.
I don't get it either.
I don't get it because there's so many better 3D platformers in my eyes.
I
don't
agree.
Get it. I don't think it's a bad game. It's not a bad game. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in terms of if you got all the main Mario games, Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, 3, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, other such ones like that, Super Mario World, Super Mario World 2, and all this kind of thing, it definitely wouldn't be in my top 5.
No.
But
go on.
It is a fantastic game.
Graphically.
It's like when people dislike Godfather 3 Godfather 3, if you stick it up against many other films, it's brilliant. But if you stick it up against Godfather 1 and 2,
Yeah.
it ain't.
Yeah. But graphically, it was a jump.
Yeah,
you went from
it's
Super
first
Mario
3D, isn't it?
World 2 and Super Mario RPG, which was incredible for its time on the Super Nintendo. It was one of the last Super Nintendo games. The jump was phenomenal, but you're right. It was a tech demo. Let's face it. It was a Super Mario tech demo rather than something that hit the numbers.
I think a lot of the Mario games, I mean, Super Mario World, for many years, I didn't realise why people loved it, because it was just a platformer that you ran from one end to another. It was only actually until I went through the whole thing and completed it that I realised there was puzzles in some levels that you had to, like the ghost levels. There was alternate routes. There was, obviously, I knew from the Super Mario Brothers 1. There was warp levels. There was, there was tricks. There was all sorts of things. So it's one of those games like the roguelites do nowadays, where you just got that little bit further each time.
Yeah,
and it dragged you in. It got that dopamine hit from getting to the end of one level, but then you might die and have to restart the next level 30, 40, 50 times if with some of the levels. Thank heavens for save states on emulators. But yeah, it's yeah. So it still has that. I think the N64 one. It still has secrets, finding all the stars, finding
But
all
then
the secrets.
you jump into a picture and you're in like a different. There's like an ice one. There's lava, isn't there? So for me, it was obviously you had the game, but then you had like jump into a picture and then you're almost in a different Mario game. It's just the same sort of mechanics and finding those sort of secret stars. And maybe it's the age I was when it came out, but because when you look back when you're a kid and when you're at a certain age, everything looks really a lot better. But I still play it on the Wii U because I got it on the Wii U, and I still enjoy it on the Wii U as well.
Yeah, you said about the age. I mean, that is one thing for me, is that I did not play it when it first came out. So that's one big difference, I think, between me and probably a lot of people. And it's a lot, a lot of the Spectrum games that I hold in high regard. I mean, I've shown whether it's Spectrum games, NES games. I've showed them to my 6-year-old, and he loves a lot of them. But then there's some that I'm like, oh, this is brilliant, and he's like, he gets bored after about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So I didn't play Super Mario 64 probably until 2010s almost. I think, it was probably at least, late 2000s, early 2010s that I played it.
I think I played it in HMV, first of all.
You have a habit, don't you? Do you ever pay for a game, or do you just go to a shop and say, "All right, can I just complete your game there, please?"
Now this is it. I never bought an N64 until I collected it as a retro console, because I don't like the boxes, don't like the machine, and I don't like the controller. I don't like Mario Kart on it. I don't like Mario 64 on it. I didn't like Pilot Wings on it.
But are you just not keen? Or do you actually like, oh my God, this is horrible?
I went from the Amstrad to the Game Boy to a bit of Mega Drive to 3DO, CDI, Jaguar, all the ones that failed miserably, but graphically were far superior than the N64. So then it felt like I was stepping back with the N64, and I didn't like the textures and all the other stuff. I was just not a fan.
The main thing I never liked, and probably didn't relate well to a twitchy platformer, is, although it wasn't really twitchy, is the controller. The N64 controller is the worst controller I've ever used. Hated it. Absolutely hated it.
They did design it. it seemed like it wasn't designed for humans, wasn't it? Where I don't know where I should put
Alien thumbs.
Yeah, but it was the first. I might be wrong, but isn't it not the first console that had the analog stick?
Yeah. Oh.
Ooh.
No. No. The first one was
the first big one, though.
The first big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the ColecoVision, didn't it have one of those, or one of those similar machines had that? But yeah, Nintendo took it into the mainstream.
Yeah.
I think they perfected that controller with the GameCube.
But
so the N64 controller, I think they perfected it with the GameCube.
Yeah, the GameCube controller was a good controller.
Yeah, that was a dual analog.
Yeah.
Almost like the PlayStation controller nowadays, isn't it? Really, just with the weird buttons, wasn't it, around the sticks?
Well, the N64 had the C buttons as well, didn't it? Which just added to the confusion. And then you could, I mean,
that was like the first Xbox controller, wasn't it? They had the black and white buttons. What do they call it? The Duke controller. But anyway, back to Mario. They did the N64 for me. Using the controller. It's
with the N64, they did bring out the first Mario Party. Was part of the first Nintendo. And obviously we've had a lot of Mario parties. But going on to the spin-offs, what's your favourite spin-off? Is it Mario Kart, tennis, golf, party?
I did eventually have many. I did have Mario Tennis on the Game Boy eventually, and I think I played that one to death. You have to build your way up gradually to become the champion or whatever, and that was fantastic. I mean, I do have very fond memories of the Game Boy.
Come on,
it was so good. So the Game Boy Mario was so good.
Terrible game.
It was very basic. But I like basic tennis games where it's sort of hold left and they aim left, but they don't aim out off the court.
I'll be honest, when I asked that question, I didn't think Mario Tennis was going to come back again.
It's not my favourite Mario spin-off, no.
They updated Mario Tennis on the Virtual Boy from the Game Boy version. It's such a good game on the Virtual Boy.
It would work as a virtual game, wouldn't it?
But it also probably gave you a migraine right in the centre of your forehead there.
I never had that problem. But the Mario Tennis on the Wii U was fantastic.
Yeah, I've never played that one.
Never played that.
I might have 2 copies actually. If I have got 2 copies, I'll send you it.
Oh, thanks.
So I'll have a look. I've got a couple
does it use the gyroscope or something?
They have They do have Wii Motion controllers, don't they? With the Wii.
Yeah, I don't know if it used that. I always use the controller. So, but
I could just see like being a 2-handed tennis racket.
That's me screwed.
Just having your children in front of you and just end up battering them to death because you tried to do an overhead smash.
I think Mario Kart has definitely been the thing that's kept Mario going.
It
over
probably
the 2 years.
It probably is. That is the best spin-off. Yeah,
it's the biggest selling Mario game I think of all time, isn't it?
You think Mario Kart 8 came out on the Wii U and it's still in the top 10 of the chart? I know obviously it's the Switch version, but it's if you're looking like gaming.
But it is still the same game, just with
added
the ability to have DLC. Yeah,
I think Mario Kart's got easier as time's gone on.
Maybe you've just got better.
The maps have got harder.
Yeah.
No, the maps have got easier, haven't they? I remember like being on some maps on the SNES version, like Rainbow Road on the
Rainbow Road. That's the one.
I couldn't even. And then the N64 one, it was just a real disappointment because it was just a really long track, but there wasn't really any jeopardy in it because you would never fall off the map. But yeah, I mean, everyone who gets a Nintendo console, the first game they think to buy is Mario Kart, isn't it? Because it's the game where you get your friends around and your family.
And as dads, isn't it just the best game to absolutely destroy your children?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because they all come in with the big, I'm going to beat you. Yeah, daddy. Yeah. And it's like,
That's our
No,
house party
no,
game.
No.
Yeah, that's our house party game. So whenever anyone comes over or we chat with mates, I'm always like, "You'll never beat me on Mario Kart. Never."
I have no doubt about it. I've got another friend who's very good at it, and yeah, I've never beaten him to the point where I think at one point I was in front of him and he just used tactics or whatever to make sure he had a blue shell and fired it off at the exact moment. So he stopped me right on the line and just passed me.
Fantastic. I like
was
playing
like-
the original Mario Kart on the SNES because that's a hard game. That and Double Dash on the GameCube, which was a 4-player Mario Kart, wasn't it?
Yeah, because you could have someone on the side, couldn't you, doing the weapons for you? So,
Great game.
With the older ones, which I have played, but I can't really remember. But with the newer ones now, you have to, like, when you go around the corners, you can sort of drift, can't you? And then you can go in people's, what would you call it, like behind them and get in their
Slipstream and stuff.
Oh, you can slipstream them. Oh, okay.
Which that's the only thing I struggle with the new ones because I just
they're bringing in accurate physics to Mario Kart.
It's just all wrong.
You can like drift and then you can get speed from that as well. But yeah, when I play my friends on the Mario Kart 8, they're doing all that stuff, and I don't really do all that. And then I'm just reliant on getting like Billy Bullet and just getting there. Because if you're at the end, so that's the beauty of Mario Kart. You're never out of it, really, are you? Because
that's it.
Yeah. I did have quite a good experience of Mario Kart recently with. I don't think they listen to this, but I look after my nephew and niece, and I was round at their house, and they for Christmas got a Switch with Mario Kart, and my nephew told me people listening on the audio, I'm doing inverted commas here, the trick that if you jump and slide around a corner, you get a boost.
It's true.
And I'm like, oh, that's a trick, is it? And there's me in my head, like, if he thinks that's a trick, I'm absolutely going to destroy this boy. He's 10. He's 10 years old. So he was telling me about this trick. And I'm like, okay, then, yeah. Uncle Duncan will come on and have a go. Absolutely destroyed him. Loved it. And I was just like, I had four races. And in those 4 races, my 6-year-old was in there, and he won one of the races without me letting him. He was 6 and he beat him. So, yeah, my nephew was not happy.
With the Mario Karts as well, it's just the one kart game, isn't it? Which is just so dominant because there's been other games like Crash tried to do a kart game, didn't they? Crash Team Racing.
That was good. It's good race.
Diddy Kong
Sonic
Racing as well.
Sonic.
I like the Diddy Kong one because it was like a story, wasn't it? And I think the Crash one they did a story, wasn't it? And you just raced as part. There was
like an open world that you drove to the different maps.
Which I always thought maybe Mario Kart could do that, but then maybe they just want to keep it as simple and party orientated as possible.
I never liked it on the Game Boy Advance. Didn't enjoy that.
Did the Game Boy Advance have the parallax? Because basically Mario Kart graphically, you didn't move your character, you just moved the world, really, didn't you? That was all it was. You turned left, and all you were doing was moving the world right, and you had the little character that went beep 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 kind of thing. So did it have was it exactly the same graphically as the SNES?
It was far worse.
I had it on my Game Boy Advance, and I broke my Game Boy Advance because of it. I got so frustrated.
Do you mean like pushing hard, or do you mean throwing it?
Like headbutt the screen. And I got it. I only had it for like about a month.
Oh no!
And it was like a birthday present. I had to like make up a really elaborate story because I dropped it. So I was like,
let's hope your mom and dad don't listen to this.
The story I made up is that I was leaning on my chair, like bobbling around, and then I went down. I hit a crack and looked down, and my Game Boy Advance was there. But really, yeah, I just
Did you get a replacement?
no.
Ah,
I don't know if they would have replaced it because they probably
well, I
would
think
have
it's back in those days. They didn't really have the like-for-like insurance. That's more of a modern thing.
did a DNA test on it and received my forehead follicles.
Speaking of things breaking, my Nintendo Switch, which I like to play the original Mario Kart on, has died.
No.
I know. I've tried everything. The only thing I can think of now is to replace the battery inside. But
Are you talking? It doesn't charge.
no charge, no signs of life. I've tried
So if you plug it in, nothing happens.
No, and I've tried the charger on another Switch that my son's got, and that works.
It could just be the port. It could be the charging port.
It could be, but replacing that is well out of my
yeah. I'm not a
expertise.
solderer. I could suggest these things, but I'm not a solderer.
So I'm going to buy a battery and hope that works. If not, then yeah, I don't know.
Could you not? Have you got like a memory? Could you get the memory out of it? Have you got another Switch?
I do have another Switch. Luckily, I have Nintendo Online, so all my stuff's saved on the cloud. But that's not the point. I want my Switch to work.
It's not an OLED, is it? Or
no, it's the original.
It's not one that. Hang on. Let's just say Nintendo would rather you didn't have because it's easily adjusted.
Yes, but it also has
it's one of those.
It also has controller drift on it as well, which is annoying.
Oh,
I know. So I need to sort that out. But yeah, I'm really.
So it was a bit of a dinosaur then, really.
Yeah.
If it was a dog, it would be taken to the battle.
It would be, and it would be beaten and kicked to shit. But hopefully, I can. There's a guy around the corner that does work on these things, so I'm gonna speak to him, see how much he would.
Yeah. At the end of the day, if it's the charging port, if it won't charge, if the battery's gone, then it would charge and not keep the charge.
Maybe.
So hopefully it'll just be the port, in which case he could that for somebody who could solder, that's an easy solve.
Yeah. I'm going to whip the battery out first because that's an easy job.
Oh,
put another one in.
I don't know, to be honest. I've never owned one. But
yeah, and then if not, then I'll go down the other route. So we'll see.
Oh, fingers crossed. Because you can play. Can you play such delights as we'll go segue into things like Mario is Missing, or what's the other one?
The hotel one,
the educational one.
Mario Hotel.
Yeah. Mario Hotel on the was that the
CDI?
Well, CDI, yeah.
Okay.
And then
another CDI beauty.
And there's
there was Mario's Missing, and there was an educational one as well, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I'm just going to look that up now. But yeah.
Don't forget Wacky World.
Obviously, these ones weren't. They were official, but they weren't official because they weren't made. And
Hotel Mario, wasn't it? What Mario?
Mario Takes America.
Ugh.
That's
Mario Time Machine. Mario's Time Machine. It was. Yeah, I've played Mario's Missing, and it is one of the worst SNES experiences I've had. And I've played some pretty bad SNES games.
I'm just Googling Hotel Mario, and I just assumed it was a bad game. Look at the reviews. One of them got 87 out of 100. And then CDI got 90%, but I think that was CDI's own magazine, so I don't know.
You know what? I've owned lots of CDI machines. I love the CDI. It's one of my favorites. And it gets a raw deal. There are loads of really good titles on the CDI. You just
it's got sixes out of 10s and 7 out of 10s. Hotel Mario, so that's pretty good. That's not bad.
CDI is brilliant. I loved it.
I've never played honestly. I can't give a because they're probably quite. Well, I assume they're quite difficult to get a hold of.
They're quite expensive now. They really are. But the video CDs on it were really great back in the day. And you can burn CDI games now and play them on the machine. There's no locks on there, so that's quite handy.
But was the Mario games part of the Zelda thing as well?
Yeah.
That meant the Zelda game.
Yeah,
So they got the rights to Mario and Zelda.
they're all
and
official.
They butchered
Oh,
the Zelda
dear.
games, didn't they?
Yeah.
But I
And
don't.
you had Mario Wacky Worlds as well, which was meant to be similar to Super Mario World, but for the CDI. It never got finished, but there is quite a good ROM dump,
cancelled one.
but it is pretty crap. And the other one was Mario Takes America. That was quite interesting because they went around and they basically filmed all around America in almost like live video, like digital cartridge video. And then Mario would jump across the screen, and then there would be a bit of gumph about this area of America. And it was meant to be quite a decent title, but it never ever got finished. There's an amazing video on YouTube of the guy talking about the filming and creation of this game and what it was going to become. And it sounds really great. So, yeah, it's a shame, really.
So ago, we were talking to Bill Harbison, wasn't we? And one of the games that him and somebody that he worked with that they envisioned, or one of them actually did a prototype was a like a Fallout style game, like Fallout 1 and 2 style game, but with the Simpsons.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what? That was a possibility, and obviously it never got taken up. But yeah. So, I mean, what is it? What was the previous one? The hotel, the one? No, the Super Mario's Wacky Worlds. I'm looking at that. Apparently, it was previews. It was quite good, but it just got cancelled because the CDI was not very well received. Well, it was not selling very well. Let's say that. So
when they originally released the CDI, they targeted for the rich families, and it was entertainment, movies, education, but not games. It was only years later on down the line they then retargeted for gaming. So,
well,
yeah.
I mean, Mario is missing. Was meant to be a sort of educational thing about history, and you just had to basically go from side to side talking to people around cities and whatnot. It was just terrible, and you've got to nowadays these things Nintendo would have a, if it's not good enough, we're not releasing it clause in all their contracts, and they quite obviously didn't have that legal pull in the 80s and 90s. Probably more 90s, and so yeah, they allowed these things, and it's just abysmal.
Well, you're talking of abysmal. In 1995, they released something on the PC and the Macintosh called Mario Teaches Typing. And
yes, I heard of that one.
It was done by Interplay, and essentially it
was a typing teaching. Yeah,
it was, and it used the graphics from.
It was like what's it called? Typing of the Dead.
That's actually quite a good game.
Yeah, Typing of the Dead's great fun.
Mm.
I mean, it's. I think there's been about Typing of the Dead 4 or 5, hasn't there? I think. But yeah, it's good game. But I can imagine this one, the Mario one, didn't do particularly well.
No, I think I do remember it being released though. I think I remember seeing the boxes in.
I'm looking at it at the moment. Yeah, it doesn't.
No, it wouldn't be game. What would it have been? It would have been music, video, pictures, MVC. Probably one of those places. The shops.
It was 1992, apparently. Yeah, so Interplay. I mean, it's even available to play online. Obviously, Nintendo are not as protective of that as some of their other games.
Yeah,
but they probably just pretend that doesn't exist.
Have either of you ever played Mario Kart on the arcade?
Yes, I played that last week. Hey, last week.
It's so good.
It's terrible
I
because
love
it's
it.
it's rubber banded. It's rubber banded. Literally, I played my 6-year-old, and he spent half the flipping race facing a fence, and at the very end, he had a weapon of some kind. I showed him how to launch it, and he hit me and went past me. And I'm like, hang on a minute. You've literally spent 30 seconds facing a fence. How have you caught me up? Who has just gone perfectly around every corner? and that was about a month ago at a party. I think Astro City, you know that.
Yeah.
And I went in there and played it. And then I went to a birthday party with him last week. And yeah, same thing again.
You can emulate that on the home PC. It's very playable.
I did have quite a good dad moment. We could digress for a second, because I was playing my 6-year-old on. It was a 2-player Mario, and so we played him. I won this time, and I was like, oh yeah, and I've always taught my boy be a good winner, good loser kind of thing. And so we were like, oh, very good. And one of his friends, 6-year-old, came up to him. I'm going to beat you now. And I went, okay, yeah, you can have my place. My boy absolutely destroyed him. And this boy, he's 6, so I don't take great delight in the fact that he burst into tears.
Oh.
So, yeah, my boy was very much, good game and everything like this. This boy didn't take it very well. So I do apologise to this person's parents if they do listen, but my boy kicked your boy's butt. Yeah, so yeah.
Sounds like me when I was a 6-year-old, the one that was crying. Hence why I broke a lot of stuff when I was
with your head.
I broke quite a few Amstrad joysticks back
controllers.
in the day.
Nowadays, the controller, because I got to buy or pay for the controller, my PS5 one, especially when I sometimes I just have to put it on the bed or something because I'm like, I can't afford to get a new one, so I can't smash you up. If money wasn't an issue, I'd be just throwing stuff all around.
I freak out when the kids are playing VR and they wallop the controller on the fireplace or something. I'm like, what are you doing? They don't get it.
Ironically, with the PlayStation controllers or whatever, get on Microsoft Rewards. Because if you're going on Bing or whatever, you go on. I know people don't use Bing, but anyway, equally use Bing for 10 minutes in the morning, and when you're playing Xbox on the TV, get on Microsoft Rewards, get a few things, and in the UK at least you could get Amazon vouchers for that. Although they have nerfed the points again in some countries.
So Duncan, what are you searching for 10 minutes in the morning on Bing?
When nobody's around and you're on your own,
you search for peach.
You've got to search for obviously things that you can do without your wife around.
Princess Peach,
and that is spending money. No. So get on Microsoft Rewards, because
the only time I use Bing is when I'm putting Google to get onto Google.
That is what Internet Explorer used to be nicknamed, wasn't it? The Google Chrome access.
That's it. So let's go back to Mario. So what is everyone's
Mario
favorite and least favorite Mario game? Martin.
Oh, that's so many good ones. It's hard to pick.
Now, do we go by memories or what we think actually is the best game?
What we actually think.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm gonna say Super Mario Galaxy.
Hey, okay.
That's your favourite.
Never completed that one.
I think. Yeah,
In fact, I've only probably played.
I really like Super Mario 64. I really like the one on the Wii U as well. It's 3D World or 3D Land. I get them muddled up because there's another one which is really.
I think it is. Galaxy is the highest rated on Metacritic. I think, isn't it?
Galaxy. I just remember it just blew me away when it was out because it was just so much different. And how the world would go round while you're there on it as well. So I'd say least favorite, probably the Mario Kart I had on the Game Boy Advance because it cost me a Game Boy Advance. I just found it really, and I can't remember having a good time on it. I just always was angry when I was playing it.
It's a dreadful game. Yeah.
There are 3 games on Metacritic that have 97 out of 100, and Galaxy is 2 of them. So you pretty much hit the nail on the head. It is the highest rated Galaxy Mario game. And the other one is Odyssey, which is also a 3D.
To add to it, what was your favourite 2D Mario game and what's your favourite 3D Mario game? Well, Tom, actually, you can answer your own question, Tom. I don't want to.
All right. So my favourite Mario game of all time is Super Mario Land, but that's a very tight race between that and Super Mario World.
That sounds very much like a memory thing, though. And you said not memories.
Well, I really like. It's a problem. I really like Super Mario World 2, but the crying baby in it is off-putting.
Super Mario World 2. That's Yoshi's Island, isn't it?
Yeah, and Mario is a baby. And that screaming drives me nuts. So I can't put it up there.
I didn't like number 2, Super Mario World. See, I'm going to go with the good old classic 2D. For my favourite is Super Mario World. Super Mario World. It's the only one that's dragged me in. Well, other than Super Mario Land, but that's also probably memories. I played that recently. It was actually a really easy game. Super Mario World. It has really easier early levels, and it just gradually gets harder. And some of the later levels, even with save states on emulators, are proper hard. And
what are your worst?
Super Mario World.
What's your worst?
Oh, my worst. You see, I mean, I slated N64, Mario 64, but I don't. As I said earlier, I don't think it's a bad game. Oh, Mario is Missing, obviously, was a terrible one. But if we go by mainline games, I would probably say Super Mario Land 2. It was just, they tried to make it a SNES game, and it didn't work. It needed the graphics. Yeah, just there was graphical problems with it, and it wasn't good.
I would say my worst one would be, and this is personal, but I would say it's the Galaxy games and the Odyssey games. And the reason being is...
Fight!
They were not accessible to anyone with one hand. So for me,
that's a good point.
I couldn't play them. So I own them, but I can't play them. So therefore... That would be one of my pet hates for Mario.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say Odyssey is another game that I really was up there as well. But
so if it has, would it need like an auto camera leveling or something like that?
Yeah.
And does it not have that?
No.
So could you play the Wii U one?
The non-3D one, yeah.
The non-3D one. Okay,
yeah.
So the one with the all.
Anything that involves 2 sets of controllers to hold, forget it. Can't be done. I tell you, one guilty pleasure of Mario, though. They did a 35th anniversary online Mario game. It was like a speedrun game.
Yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember that? And there was like 100 players all at once. And
like Tetris 99, wasn't it? But Mario.
Yeah, there was Mario. Yeah, 99.
Yeah, but that game was phenomenal. And I've actually emailed and... Twittered or X'd Nintendo about asking them to make a physical release of that game because it was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah,
Such
I
a
mean,
great game.
for some reason they've done these things, haven't they? The F-Zero 99, the Mario 99 ones, and they seem to be like, yeah, they're like specials, and we're going to stop making it. So
Yeah,
why?
that's really weird. It's
What-
such a good game.
Why? I mean, obviously their popularity will decline.
Yeah, I don't
But
enjoy.
still,
I don't
but
enjoy
still.
F-Zero 99. That's not fun.
Yeah, I've heard that it's very much it's
just a car
ridiculous.
crash.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just a car
I think
crash.
that's probably the best way of describing
Tetris
it.
99 is good. Do they still?
Yeah,
Still got that one going.
enjoy that.
That was still going. Well, that was going when I first got the Switch, which was years and years ago. So I don't know if they.
Did either of you ever own Mario Paint?
No, I never owned a SNES. It was SNES, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is one game that we are forgetting though, and probably to finish this off, maybe I don't know, is Mario Maker.
Yes.
Own Mario
Yes.
games or levels. That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
I was just gonna say, yeah. Just how many? There's two in there. There's two Mario Makers. One on the Wii U and one on the Switch, isn't it?
And on the game,
DS,
on the 3DS, yeah.
and
Oh,
the
there's
3DS. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say about that is that those have spawned the stress-inducing ones where people are or that you get various people that have the impossible to complete ones, and they complete them, and it's so stressful watching them. I yeah. Just it makes the back of my neck. Oh yeah, just thinking about them. But these people are amazing Mario players, and they've got it where they're bouncing off people and then jumping off a wall, and just hats off to them. But my God, you stress me out.
So we've got the Nintendo Switch 2 coming soon. What do we think we're going to see Mario-wise? Obviously, another Mario Kart. That goes without saying.
There'll be a new Super Mario, won't there? Because Odyssey came out at the beginning of the Switch, didn't it?
Yeah.
So I think they usually try and bring one out at launch, don't they? Sort of to go with the console.
Well, will it be a new Mario Kart, or will it be just a sort of, hey, here's all the entire thing that has been released on the Switch in one package? And then
I don't think they can do that again. It came from the Wii U originally.
I mean, they're still releasing games from the NES where you had to pay for it again rather than what you bought, on a different Nintendo store. That's one thing that always, annoys a lot of people, I think, with Nintendo. It's like, oh, yes, you bought that game before. Yeah, but this is new hardware. We're going to make it, 0.1% frames more per second. So buy it again. No, I'm not going to.
That's one good thing with Switch Online. You do get an NES, SNES, Game Boy, and Game Boy Advance games for free as such, and they are great to play. So, and you can play online as well.
Yeah. I mean, that is the future. It's whether you're buying a car or buying coffees in the city kind of thing. You can get a subscription nowadays, and as long and it isn't too expensive. I think in the UK, I think you can get a family subscription for about £40.
Yeah, it's really efficient.
And that's the full price. So look elsewhere.
And Mario Kart Lego is coming out soon as well. Just because.
And Peach's
show. Do you mean
stuff.
physical Lego, or there's a Mario Kart Lego game?
No, physical Lego.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There was a Mario Kart game they released a couple of years ago.
Like Scalextrics, wasn't it? But
they
were around your house, weren't they?
There was one that had cameras on it, and you had to put like hoops, markers out so that you could actually
Mm.
play it like it was a first-person racer.
I think it's quite cheap now. You can pick up for like a tenner. So
Okay. I think the reviews weren't particularly kind to it. I think
no.
so. Yeah, don't work. So yeah, so Mario, it spawned so many things.
No, I was going to say, quick question: out of all the characters from Mario, we've got with Peach's Showtime coming out in a couple of weeks' time, so that's the latest
Indeed.
character to get their own game. What's your favourite game from a Mario? So Luigi's got Luigi's Mansion, and then you've got Yoshi's ones, haven't you? I don't know. Would you class Donkey Kong, or would you say did Mario?
He's a Mario universe. Yes, he spawned Mario, but he's become Mario's bitch.
I would probably go with Donkey Kong myself then, because I might like the Donkey Kong.
It is a classic.
Mario
it is a classic.
I would say Yoshi's Woolly World on the Wii U.
Never played that one.
Do you know?
So
I haven't played many. I haven't played Luigi's Mansion, all those kind of things. So I'm going to go for a bit of a left wing sort of random one. Captain Toad's puzzle. I love a puzzle. I'm a sucker for a puzzle game, and it's one that I can play. I can play with the kids. It's a good fun.
It spawned from a Mario game, wasn't it? Because it was on Mario 3D World on the
3D Land. Yeah.
And they
3D World
Treasure Tracker, wasn't it? It's called Treasure Tracker, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And it's a very simple, but simple puzzle game, and and that is coming from a place where I haven't played Luigi's Mansion, I haven't played Paper Mario, I haven't played Mario RPG.
Well, they're all Mario. So like Kirby.
Oh, they are Mario. Kirby is Kirby a Mario, or is Kirby just Nintendo?
No, Kirby was just Nintendo.
No.
Oh, okay. But
Someone did
Kirby
do
on
a
the
hack
Switch
of
was quite good.
Super Mario Land. It was a homemade homebrew thing. But it was essentially Super Mario Land made on Mario Maker, I think. And you can download it. And it's relatively good. Not as good as the Game Boy version, but it's relatively good. And obviously it's full colour as well.
I mean, nowadays with the Switch, Super Mario Brothers Wonder is a... I don't know if either of you played it, but it has a singing, piranha plants singing, and it's just the presentation of it is so good. And it's the same with nowadays, where they're very the presentation of everything Mario nowadays is so tightly controlled, but tightly controlled in a good way. And the Mario movie, did you both see that? Have you both?
I have, yeah.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No.
I've seen it.
It ain't going to win any Oscars. It's not like Barbie, where everyone's like, Barbie movie? Really? And now it's up for the Oscars tonight. Hey, it might win Oscars. But I
enjoyed it.
It's a good, fun film.
They got Mario Kart on it. They got
It had Rainbow Road on it. It had Donkey Kong. It had Toads on it. And Toad is a ridiculously stupid character in it, but also brilliant in it. Kind of thing. It's good fun. Turn your brain off, have a bit of fun. As a Nintendo fan, you'll love it.
My last question about Mario is, what character do you think will get there next? So Peach is the latest. What's going to be the next character to get their own game? Because Nintendo will just think, well, we're running out of ideas here, so we need to make a new Mario character game. Bowser?
There has been Bowser's. I think there has been Bowser things, or at least Bowser Jr. and that kind of thing.
There was a Bowser spin-off Mario, wasn't it? Like Bowser's Fury, but that was on the Switch, wasn't it?
Sounds terrible.
It was the Wii U Super Mario 3D World, and then they added a bit where you're Bowser on it.
Okay.
Bowser's Fury. But
there was some DLC, wasn't there? On
I don't know if he has his actual own game though, does he, Bowser?
I think Toad. I mean, at the end of the day, Toad is a species rather than a character. I suppose
But
he's-
Toad has got his own game, isn't he?
yeah. So, but I
Yeah, he
think they
does.
need to explore Toad a bit more.
Toad's got his own game on the.
I'm going to stick with Toad. Oh, you mean a new character completely?
It's a whole new game. Yeah. So
Well, there is also because Peaches is meant to be Mario's other half, and is it Daisy? Is it that's meant to be Luigi's other half?
I thought Daisy was originally Mario's other half.
I don't know.
Perhaps she's just a slut.
Oh, right, that's great. Now I'm going to have to tick the explicit thing, aren't I? Ah.
Sorry.
Anyway, but yeah, is Daisy Luigi's girlfriend? Princess Daisy is a supporting princess character in the Super Mario Richie series. Although fans have speculated that Daisy is Luigi's love interest, Nintendo has never given Luigi an official girlfriend. In the live-action film adaptation, Daisy is Luigi's girlfriend, but the film takes place in an alternate universe, so it does not make the pairings relationship official. That is an AI answer. So I do apologise if that is incorrect. But Daisy is another princess similar to Peaches, and she's a strong, independent woman who don't need no man. So yeah,
I'm sure Mario will go woke soon enough.
Nothing wrong with that.
Of course not.
There hasn't been a Wario game out for a while, is there? Maybe they'll bring
Wario, yeah. I didn't like them on the Game Boy either.
What was the purple one as well? Bad Luigi? Waluigi.
Waluigi. I liked him on Mario Kart on the Wii. No, Double Dash.
We could just talk about Mario for ages, really, because we could
know.
go into the whole Mario versus Sonic thing. But then the fact that now 90s kids seeing, I think it was like 2010, I think, or something, that the first, or about 2000, the 2008 Olympics, I think, was the first Mario and Sonic game. And it was just, I'm sorry, is the world ending? Why is there a game that has Mario and Sonic together?
One of those games fetches a lot of money now as well.
Oh, okay. I mean, there's quite a few of them now. Pretty much every Olympics has had a Mario versus Sonic. So I don't know which one it is though. But yeah, that would, for a 90s kid, that was just end
of the world.
That was end of the world thing.
Yeah,
and it happened. It happened in the 2000s.
I played the one on the Wii, and it lost all its credibility. When I was playing my friend, and we did the 100 meters, and he was Mario and I was Sonic, and he beat me, and I was like, "Well,
did you headbutt the Wii remote?" Thunk.
No. I just said to him how we both grew up playing Sonic, who was meant to be this person who could run at 700 miles per hour, yet this fat little Italian fan in a 100-meter race.
Exactly. It was like Mario versus Sonic in the Olympics. Well, Mario's obviously going to lose because he's a fat plumber.
Unless he stole Sonic's boots, of course.
Was it all to do? I didn't.
Is it just Sonic his boots? The Sonic,
Yeah, he has red boots, doesn't he? They're making him run faster.
I just thought he was
those are the super speed, though. He was fast before that, though. I don't know. I don't know. Well, he's just some weird alien.
Is a debate
according to the movie, he's just a weird alien thing that ended up with an owl.
Who knows?
That's about all the explanation you get. He's an alien. Okay.
I like the movies. They were very good.
Yeah. Oh, I still haven't made my way through the second one, but I will at some point. Yeah. Anyway, right.
On that note,
I hope everybody's enjoyed the Mario special on today, March the 10th, although this is being released on March the 11th. March the 10th, Mario Day. And everybody should like and subscribe in celebration.
Definitely. That's it.
All right, so welcome back, Tom. It's
Thanks.
been lovely to have you back, and yeah, hopefully Marcin won't have headbutted anything else by next episode.
You'll know, won't you?
Thankfully, he's quite a few miles away from me, because otherwise it might be me.
I can't afford to headbutt things anymore.
No, that's the truth.
Oh, so you don't have to pay to replace me, because yeah.
I suppose
Right.
we should just briefly mention
Oh.
what we've got coming up over the next few weeks. So
Got
we've
an
got
interview.
some interviews coming up. So we are.
Oh, that sounds like a plural to me.
We are interviewing the editor of Pixel Mag and Amiga Addict magazine, to name but a few.
Okay.
We've got an upcoming interview with Gary Bracey of Ocean Software,
Ooh,
to name but a few. And
the big guy.
and hopefully towards the summer we've got an Ocean Software reunion episode. So
Get a
watch
few
this
of them
space.
together. Let's hope they don't hate each other.
Let's hope they do.
Let's hope they... Oh, no. All right, I'm not sharing that one.
Probably be better if they do dislike each other.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, this ain't Jeremy Kyle.
Sure they
Depends how
all-
many beers you've had, Duncan.
Well, yeah. 3, I think. 3. This is the podcast.
This is true.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. You're the only one.
It wouldn't be a podcast if I didn't have a few
Martin's not
drinks.
allowed to drink because he starts headbutting things.
I'm bad enough sober.
And you're on antibiotics because of your
I
chest.
am.
So I've got a drink for all of you.
You
So,
should.
you know.
Yeah.
And I've still got one more, but I think we are coming to an end now. So
We are.
it'll be. I've gone through 3. Although, granted, I did start before the podcast. So anyway, right. So yeah, everybody should like and subscribe. Thank you for coming back, Tom.
Again.
And yeah,
Hopefully, we'll be back next week.
next week.
Yeah.
Right, like and subscribe. Bye.
Cheers, guys.